Welcome to Conversations with Mr. A. This is your host, Anthony Abastilla, counselor here at Chimacum Junior Senior High. Hello, and welcome to the very first podcast episode of Conversations with Mr. A. This is your host, Anthony Abastilla, counselor here at Chimacum Junior Senior High. I'm going to be interviewing various students, staff, community members, outside community members. And so today, for this very first episode, I'm with Jerome Stevens, SAP counselor. Jerome, thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Anything for Mr. A.
Thanks, man. So let's get started. So I just was wondering if you can give us a brief history of your work background, just different places you worked at before arriving here.
Yeah, I worked at different residential facilities with kiddos struggling with mental health, kiddos struggling with substance use and abuse, bunch of different case management, social skills. I was also a garbage man at one point. I owned my own food truck at one point. I did a lot of different jobs, man. I'm 43, so I did a lot of different jobs and also moved around as well. So I'm very excited to be here at Chimacum and offering my services and connecting with cats. So I'm enjoying it so far.
What are some of the places, you said you've moved around, what are some of the places you've been to?
Some of the places I've been to, Portland twice, Hawaii, on Oahu, North Carolina, Nevada City, different parts of California, different parts of Oregon, different parts of Washington. I lived out in Spokane, Washington for 8 years, and then I also lived out in Seattle, and now I'm in Squim.
How does it compare, Squim, compared to the other towns you've been to? Just the life, and how does it compare to the bigger cities?
Oh, the pace is way slower. In the cities, you can't access the mountains and the water like we can on this side of the water. So Squim is a nice little spot for me. I have access to the mountains, the forest, the water. It's a best of both worlds.
Awesome. I know, Jerome, you shared with me some pretty cool stories regarding high school. High school was kind of a struggle for you. You had to work double hard to make it through. Could you share with our listeners just what you went through and what you had to do to overcome things?
Yeah. So when I got into high school, I really didn't do much. I was more focused on running around. And then my sophomore year, I moved to Modesto with my mom, and that put me back even more because I was just running in the streets up there, not doing anything good. And my dad hit me up, was like, "You got to move back home." After I got in some trouble up there, and then I was behind on credits. Right, my sophomore year, I didn't play any sports because I was in between schools. When I went back to my hometown, my junior year, I buckled down a little bit. I had to start catching up on credits, so I had to do credit retrieval. At that point, I would go to practice, and then I would go to after school class, and then at night I would have like night school to catch up on my credits. And that went on for a whole semester. So that was real tough. But I'm a hard worker, so I was able to pull it off and graduate on time, and the sky's the limit at that point. I was able to get a scholarship to the University of Washington, and I made the most of it.
I'm wondering, before you get to UW, what motivated you? What motivated you to kind of start picking it up towards the end of high school?
What motivated me was, colleges started reaching out to me. They were like, "Oh, we see you on the field doing this and doing that." And my coach hit me up. He was like, "Yeah, you got to start changing some stuff up." So that was my motivation factor. I was always a hard worker because I grew up in the barbecue business. So I was used to, waking up and working, just a different type of work, so I was just put my head down and just grinded it out. My happy place was at practice on the field. So that was like my outlet, get all my stress out, and, this repetition on at that time it was discus for that second semester. So I was in track. So I was just head down and just grinding.
When you made it to UW, I understand you did a little bit of football and played for the team. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. That was a brotherhood. I missed the locker room and the guys. But yeah, that opened up a whole nother world. There's a different type of routine. Opened up my eyes because I came from California up to the Pacific Northwest where, it's rainy and cloudy. But yeah, that was part of my groundwork as far as like my work ethic, and meeting new people, and buckling down, really catapulted me to where I'm at right now. So football, UW, I say that was a lifesaver for me, because thinking back, seeing what my homies are doing right now at the house, and they're really not up to no good on some of them. A lot of folks like moved away. The ones that stayed back, they're struggling a little bit, still in the streets or whatnot. But it's that UW playing football saved my life.
How far did you make it with the team? How far did you guys go with the seasons?
Oh yeah, so my freshman year, we won the Rose Bowl. I had a tackle in that game against Drew Brees and the Purdue Boilermakers. So I got a Rose Bowl ring from that. That was one of our better years. Sophomore years was good. We had bowl games throughout my whole 4 years. Apple Cup season, or not the season, but our rivalry game against Washington State. It's called Apple Cup, and we won all 4 years. Never lost to Wazoo. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We won a lot of games. It was great experience.
Awesome. So, part of your job as an SAP counselor, you do interventions. Some of the focus is with students with substance abuse issues. I'm just wondering, what's your general philosophy on substance abuse?
Substance abuse, my philosophy is, I believe it all stems back from some type of trauma, some type of hardship that an individual has gone through, and they're coping with substances and haven't really been taught like positive coping skills, right? So day-to-day stressors and picking the negative coping skills to get through the day, it can weigh you down. So just my philosophy is just try not to have those negative coping skills, trying to find something that you're passionate about, and move forward and try to focus on the positive that you can change yourself.
Okay, good. I'll throw another topic here. Question is, what's your philosophy on racism? I know you've had some different experiences. As an African-American male, you've been through a lot of places. You're here at Chimacum now. What's your general philosophy on racism?
On racism, let's see here. I think it's more taught. Individuals that are racist, they've seen it, heard their family members or heard, important figures in their life degrade somebody in that type of fashion. But a lot of it, I believe it's more taught and learned. And also those individuals that are racist, I think they have low self-esteem, because think of it like being a bully, right? You have low self-esteem and you're afraid of the next person, if they're going to be better than you, just the not knowing, the unknown of another individual brings out the racism, I believe.
Okay. So coming here to Chimacum, it's a smaller school, 300 students, grades 7 through 12. Just wondering, from your experiences with different places, what's been your approach to the Chimacum students up to this point?
Just being myself, right, and just being available and being seen, and just meeting people where they're at. You understand their struggle. Life is hard. We have a lot of things to juggle, and just being there and being an ear for them, so they can just dish out, whatever is on their mind, on their heart, and just being there to listen, not there to fix the problem right then and there. Just being there and being seen, and just being that ear and a positive role model.
Yeah. Good. So I'm gonna have some fun here. I'm gonna do some word associations. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw you maybe one or two words and tell me your immediate thoughts. Like what comes to your mind when I mention these one or two words. Okay. So I'll start with the first word. Pickles.
Delicious.
Football.
Love.
Discipline.
Hard to maintain.
Okay. Music.
All types of genres.
Okay. Failure.
Pick back up.
Okay. How about fear?
Face it.
Okay. Change.
Always change.
Nothing ever changes. No. Okay, how about this one? Chimacum.
Great place to be.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so actually I gathered a few questions from different students. And so they had some questions for you. And let me start with this one here. One student asked, have you always lived here in Chimacum? Basically, how long have you been in Sequim?
I've been here, it's going on 3 years now.
Okay. Do you have any side hobbies outside of work?
I have a little side hustle. I have a farm, and I sell pig meat, goat meat, and eggs. So that's my little side hustle, along with do a little Reiki on the side, and rent out a room like an Airbnb type style. On the property.
Okay. Why did you choose to work in this field?
Why did I choose to work in this field? So I had, a handful of positive folks in my life growing up, and I think it's for me to give back. I was a teenager once, and it was a struggle, and just want to be that person to help another struggling individual.
Okay. I know you played for the D1 UW football. Mm-hmm. Some of the students were asking, what was it like competing for it?
It was hard. And at that level, you are a student athlete. So our days were long. You go to class, and then you have weights, go to class, and then you have practice, and then you'll have tutoring, and then your meal. So my day would start out at 7:30, and then I wouldn't get back home until about like 9 o'clock. So it was hard, but it was fun at the same time.
Awesome. From California, one student was asking, what do you miss about Cali?
Oh man, what do I miss about Cali? The sunshine, my family, and good Mexican food.
Which ones? Tacos, burritos?
Man, I like it all. Tacos, burritos, tortas, menudo, enchiladas. Spanish rice, beans. I miss it all. Now, one of my good homies. Every time I went back during college, his grandma would cook up a good meal, and she'd be like, "Oh, Jerome's coming over. Oh, I'm gonna fix this, fix that." So we had a nice little spread. So I miss some good Mexican food.
Do you have that experience here in this area, Sequim or anything? Mexican food or any places nearby?
Oh yeah, there's a handful of free. There's Sergio's in Sequim I like, and a place in Port Townsend I like. It used to be a food truck. Now they have a brick and mortar down there across from Subway. I forget the name of it though. I just know where it's at. San Juan's Taqueria, I think it is.
Okay. So now, Jerome, just want to thank you just for being able to do this interview. Any final message that you'd like to send out to the Chimacum students community? Anything you want to specifically say to them?
Yeah, just try your hardest. Give effort. Life will get better if you put that effort in, and always give yourself positive reinforcement, positive praise, and cherish your friends and family. And don't be so hard on yourself.
Awesome. Hey, Jerome, just wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. And definitely, who knows, we might do another interview in the future. But thank you for the time, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. No problem, big dog. No problem.
Take care. And that concludes this week's episode of Conversations with Mr. A. It has truly been a pleasure talking with Jerome. He's definitely a genuine individual. He cares about the students. He's a real person. The students really appreciate him. The staff appreciate him. Thank you, Jerome, for taking the time to meet with me. For next week, we're going to have another episode of Conversations with Mr. A. We'll see you then. Peace.